Did you know you can calculate how much EMF is in the environment around a phone? Probably not. Check this out. So this is my EMF meter, and when it calibrates, it calculates exactly how much EMF is in the environment around the phone, probably being produced by the phone or just around it in general, on all three axes X, Y and Z, using the magnetometer inside the phone. After calibration, I then have three different values: a maximum, a minimum and an average, for all three axes again, X, Y and Z, and then from those I can calculate the magnitude of the magnetometer. So on the left, these are the raw values coming in from the sensor on the X, Y and Z. Then using those three values I can calculate the magnitude, which is here in yellow. On the right we have the X, Y and Z again, but this time the value is the raw value minus the amount of EMF that's in the environment around the phone. Then from those three I can calculate a new magnitude value. So now that we've calculated how much EMF is in the environment around the phone, deducted that from the actual values, we can now look for spikes from those values to get really good indications of any EMF spikes, which I think is actually really cool evidence of the paranormal. So a quick overview of the app. So along the top we have the magnitude bar, which shows the EMF. Just below that to the left it says range. This is the maximum value in microtesla that your magnetometer has inside your phone on all three axes X, Y and Z. It also has the same number as a negative value because the magnetometers are three axis and they're in 3D basically. On the right is the resolution. That's the minimum microtesla that the magnetometer can register. So to put this into perspective, on this phone, which is a Sony XZ Premium, the range is 4,912 microtesla on all three axes, and it has that same negative value. So the range is actually minus 4,912 all the way up to 4,912. Okay, so that's a pretty big range, you know, and it has that on all three axes. Now a K2 only has one axis and it only measures from 0 up to about 3 microtesla. So that's just to put that into a bit of perspective there. On the top we've then got M in yellow, which is the magnitude of the magnetometer. The one on the left is the raw value, and the one on the right is the magnitude with the environmental amount deducted away from it. Then we've got X, Y and Z again. On the left we've got the raw values from coming in from the sensors. On the right is that value with the environmental amount removed from that. And then underneath that we have a nice graphical display which shows all three axes X, Y and Z. I might put the magnitude in there, I'm not too sure yet. And in my opinion, once you've done the right calculations with an EMF reader, I think EMF is actually a really good form of evidence because you're looking for spikes outside of that environmental range that's been calculated. Does that make sense? If the app does detect a lot of force, it can actually kind of mess it up a little bit, throw it off. At any point, you could just click the back button and it will go off, recalibrate, and then start again. It doesn't save any sessions or data or anything like that. My advice for that is download a free screen recorder and just record it as you're using it. That way you'll have video evidence of it, and also it will record the time at the top of the phone. So yeah, just grab a free screen recorder and record the app as you're using it. This is only available on Android at the moment. As soon as I've got it all working 100% how I want it to work, I will then port it over onto iPhone and I'll release it on iPhone. But for now, yeah, unfortunately, it's just on Android whilst I sort out all the maths that's involved in this little app. Oh yeah, and it's free, just because why not? See you in the next one.